retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grabbing it, taste it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Taste this ecstasy. Free just like the weed.
Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to a very special edition Sunday stream, as we are streaming live across 4 different platforms and 4 different accounts. On the 7th day, the Lord rested because DJ Storm said, "Don't worry, big guy, I got this." It is a wonderful day, and the weather is starting to cool up just a little bit. I definitely need a break from the endless amounts of heat waves, although I don't want the cold weather to really amp up just yet. I'm enjoying the last few bits of summer. September's kind of an unofficial 4th month of summer as it is, and we are going to enjoy as much of it as we can. But we're not here to talk about Mother Nature. We're not here to talk about the weather patterns. We're here to talk about professional wrestling. And in case you haven't realized it, they call me Mr. Controversy and the operator of the Best Damn X, formerly known as Twitter handle, known to mankind. And this is the official rewind for AEW All Out 2024, which of course streamed live on Bleacher Report and all pay-per-view providers yesterday evening, with the pre-show starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And holy shit, what a night it was. You know, a lot of people are going to reference AEW All Out 2021, and they're going to talk about how that show was such a great show from start to finish. And it was. But when you look back at it, it was more of a moment show, if you know what I mean. The only standout match, and I don't want to disrespect anyone because that show was full of great matches too, but from start to finish, the one standout match that everyone was talking about on that night, it was the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros inside of a steel cage for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And that right there was the main standout match out of all of the contests on that show. The show was all about moments. Ruby Soho made her AEW debut. CM Punk had his first wrestling match in over 7.5 years against Darby Allin. We saw Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson make their debuts to close out AEW All Out in the Now Arena, and it will go down as one of the most memorable nights in company history. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But from an in-ring perspective, if we're going to look at in-ring action and show fluidity, I'm going to look at All Out 2024. Now, again, it's a very subjective thing, and I usually try and stay away from, oh, this was the best, that was the worst, oh my God, this was the best because ... and this was the absolute worst in history because ... I stay away from that, and I take an objective standpoint. I try and shy away from subjectivity because that's not what we're about here on the DJ Storms brand. We do things differently than all the other wrestling podcasters and content creators. We speak objectively over here, not subjectively. However, if someone were to tell me that All Out 2024 was the best in-ring, bell-to-bell, all-out pay-per-view that we've seen so far, out of all of the all-out shows that we've seen, Out of all of the All Out shows, this show may have been the best one from a bell-to-bell in-ring perspective. And they had a lot to live up to coming out of last year's All Out, because last year's All Out in the United Center, that was one hell of a fucking show as well. That was a damn good fucking show. But All Out 2024 was an incredible show from start to finish. Not perfect. There were a handful of things that didn't really need to be there. There were a handful of things, whether it be the endings or a couple matches on the pre-show, that didn't really do the show any favors. But from an overall perspective, 90-95% of the show, we got ourselves one hell of a program. And Tony Khan put the right amount of matches on the show. 8 matches. That is the maximum. And all promoters should do that going forward. If you're going to have a pay-per-view, if you're going to have a major event, 8 matches, start to finish. That is the best place. If you wanted to do 7 matches, you could have done 7 matches as well. 7 to 8 matches, that is the sweet spot. We don't need 12 matches on the show. 5 matches, way too little. I loved Bash in Berlin. Bash in Berlin was a great show. Awesome show, but that felt like a Monday Night Raw on steroids. All Out, this felt like a pay-per-view. And I hope that Tony Khan understands this going forward. We need pay-per-views like this. We need pay-per-views that do not supersede a 7 to 8 match lineup. And we need to give all matches ample amount of time. There was no filler on the show. They put the main stars on the show. They put the championships on the show. We got title defenses. We got some great wrestling from start to finish. For the most part, every match had the right outcome. We got a lot of talking points coming out of this show. Daniel Garcia may have had the match of his career against MJF. We saw Jon Moxley form a new BCC, a new version of the Blackpool Combat Club, as he lays out Bryan Danielson. We saw Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander show everyone what the standard for a women's street fight is. Will Ospreay, as if it's as easy as putting one foot in front of the other. Will Ospreay puts on another match of the year candidate, this time with the Bastard Pack. And Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland redefine the word brutality as they deliver a very, very, very violent main event match with a couple of innovative spots here and there to close out All Out 2024 as Tony Khan kicks off the fall season for AEW on the right foot. How you doing, Margie M? How you doing, Hassan? Greatly appreciate the both of you stopping on by, and I'm sure we'll be getting plenty more people as the stream goes on. If you guys haven't already done so, please make sure that you follow me on social media at HistoryMakerDJS. One more time, that is at HistoryMakerDJS, both on X and Instagram. You can also add me on my personal Facebook as well. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. You can like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook, that is. All those links are in the description of this very stream. Please make sure that you go and check me out on Rumble as well. We're live on Rumble, looking to build a nice, solid fan base over on Rumble. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you donate to me. My Venmo is at DJ Storms, and my Cash App is the DJ Storms. Go and check me out over there. Show your support for me. You can get in your super chats. You can get in your super stickers. You can get in your super thanks as well. Super chats, super stickers, and super thanks. It is incredibly vital that you do so, because that way it helps me out and it helps the brand out. Incredibly vital that I get a lot of exposure. You can also share the stream out on all platforms of social media, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, whether it be Rumble or Twitch or TikTok or Tumblr or Pinterest, whatever social media platforms that you may be using. Get all of the people amongst all platforms of social media in the know They know that DJ Storms is live across the IWC because it is a known fact that I make people's lives better. I didn't make the rules. Yes, I did. In addition to that, please make sure you get your DJ Storms wristbands, t-shirts, and of course, the greatest piece of merch that you will ever own, the DJ Storm Switchblade Comb. And just like me, you will be so good. You could be scrumptious. You could be tasty. And just like everyone wants a piece of the Stormsmeister, everyone's going to want a piece of you. Look how on fleek my pompadour is. I'm telling you, I am just too damn good. I'm too damn good. I'd also like to shout out some sponsorships. Of course, Battle in the Borough is going down on October 19th, 2024, right here in the borough of Elmwood Park, New Jersey. It is going to be a historic event. How you doing, John Blaine? And yes, if you haven't realized it, people, John Blaine will indeed be on commentary for Battle in the Borough. Very, very pleased to be working with John Blaine. And if you guys are looking for some great driving lessons, if you are a new driver or you're looking for a 90-minute refresher course, I got a great place for you guys. I'd like to welcome on our newest sponsor, Golden Wheel Driving School. Golden Wheel Driving School, they are excellent when it comes to refreshing people's memories on the rules of the road and, of course, getting new drivers ready to take their driving tests. You don't believe me? Well, here's a word from your boy as to why you should check out Golden Wheel Driving School.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about Golden Wheel Driving School. Now, did you guys know that since 1997, Golden Wheel Driving School has been the premier driving school in the state of New Jersey? They are renowned for many things, such as using quality driving instructors certified by the New Jersey DMV, using the latest model cars, all equipped with dual controls for maximum safety, and, of course, their commitment to ensuring a reliable learning environment for all of their students. And they also offer flexible packages for all different drivers amongst all different ages. So whether you need a 90-minute refresher course or an 8-hour multi-day beginner's course, Golden Wheel is indeed the place to be. And as you can see, they'll even drive to your house and pick you up. Ain't that right, my friend? So come on down, visit Golden Wheel, New Jersey's premier driving school, now serving both Bergen and Passaic County.
And the people over at Bergen and Passaic County greatly appreciate Golden Wheel Driving School and all the service that they do. They are a proud sponsor of Battle in the Borough and, of course, the DJ Storms brand. I'd also like to shout out My Laundry Room. My Laundry Room is an official sponsor of DJ Storms brand and Battle in the Borough. Owning a washing and drying machine can be extremely costly, especially in this economy. That is why My Laundry Room is looking to make laundry a lot more affordable. That is why, if you guys are in need of some quality laundry at a reasonable price, so that way you do not have to spend hundreds of dollars on washers and dryers, you should go and take a spin on over to My Laundry Room. And I'm here to tell you why. Listen up, people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys require some professional laundry services, you guys should come on down to My Laundry Room. And I'm here to tell you why. First of all, they got a great reputation of over 30 years here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, which gives them first-class name brand recognition. Secondly, they got high-quality VIP wash and fold service, which entails that you get top-notch cleaning at a very reasonable price. And of course, you get the assurance that your order will be ready when promised. And finally, and most importantly, you get the customer satisfaction knowing that My Laundry Room is a clean and comfortable environment, has great staff, and above all else, is a place where the customer always comes first. So come on down, see Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all the great team members over here. My Laundry Room, where your dirty laundry is their business.
And your dirty laundry is indeed their business over at My Laundry Room. A special thank you to Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all of the team members over at My Laundry Room. We greatly appreciate you over here at the DJ Storms brand. And of course, from laundry to dental health. I'd like to segue over to dental health for just a little bit because dental health is extremely important. Now, I got great fucking teeth because I'm DJ motherfucking Storms. Let's be honest here. I am great at everything. But when it comes down to dental care, I can't just get these teeth as pearly white as they are, as strong and healthy as these chompers are. I can't do it on my own. And I got a great place for everyone who's looking for some quality dental services. I'm talking about Elmwood Dental Professionals, run by Mr. Dr. David Eidman, his son, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and all of their team. They are quality, and I mean high quality dental professionals, and they offer great services, and they make all of the visits for all of their customers as comfortable as possible. And if you still don't believe me, let's all take a moment and let me talk to you guys a little bit about Elmwood Dental Professionals. Listen up, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys are looking for some quality dental care, have I got the place for you. For almost 40 years, Elmwood Dental Professionals has been one of the top-tier, premier dental practices in Bergen County. Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and their entire team have employed a standard of excellence in personalized dental care, which combines uncompromising safety with extensive training and expertise. This enables them to provide the quality dental services that their patients deserve. As a practice, they are true believers that preventative care and education are the keys to optimal dental health. Their entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care that you deserve to make your visits as comfortable and pleasant as possible. Elmwood Dental Professionals, creating beautiful smiles, then, now, and forever.
Elmwood Dental Professionals has indeed been creating beautiful smiles then, now, and forever. And I would like to send out one last special thank you to Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and all the team members over at Elmwood Dental Professionals for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and a sponsor of the DJ Storms brand, of course. And finally, I would like to shout out my good buddy Will and the team members of DNN Deli. If you guys are big fans of Peruvian deli food, you need to take a spin on over to DNN Deli right here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. I could literally walk to it from my house if I wanted to. I'm telling you, they got some quality stuff over there, and I'm here to tell you why. So listen up. Let me tell you a little bit about DNN Deli. Listen to a word from your boy, DJ Shizzle Dizzle.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you got a hankering for Peruvian food, come and visit my friend Will over at DNN Deli. Let me tell you something. They got themselves some fantastic homemade roast beef, homemade empanadas, straight out of Peru as well, so you know it is quality. Once again, that is DNN Deli here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and don't forget to catch Battle in the Borough, Saturday, October 19th, 2020.
And thank you very much to Will and all the team members over at DNN Deli for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. How you doing, King of Hucho Mundo? And the pay-per-view indeed slapped. It was a great show, and you joined at the right time. I just got done with the advertisements. We're going to get straight into the specifics here that happened at AEW All Out 2024. Let's talk about the buy-in for a minute. The buy-in was pretty typical. There wasn't really much to go into the buy-in, and it was actually a full-blown waste, if we're going to be quite honest with you. And I really hate, I really do hate what Tony Khan has been doing with the buy-in. It's actually so counterproductive, if we're going to be quite honest. I always reference the buy-in for Dynasty. The buy-in for Dynasty was a great little pre-show. The buy-in on Dynasty had everything that it needed to have. The buy-in on Dynasty, we had great wrestling. We got some bigger stars on the pre-show. We even got a championship match on the 0 hour. And everything came off important on Dynasty. Dynasty was as close to a full-blown important show with nothing related to filler on that show as you could get. But the buy-in or the 0 hour for All Out, my God, it was just another charity case. Just another charity case, just like the pre-show for All In. And it's becoming very frustrating. The Acclaimed, they beat the Iron Savages. Again, all of these meaningless matches, they would actually mean something if we had the rankings. I'm telling you, I do not give a shit. I will not stray away from this. The rankings are important. Wins and losses should matter. Pro wrestling needs to be treated like a sport. And this is exactly what we need. Rankings. That way, the Acclaimed and the Iron Savages, a match like that would actually mean something. But of course, no rankings, so we get a meaningless tag team match. The Acclaimed win. Who gives a shit? Premier Athletes, they took on Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, and Hologram. The babyfaces win as expected. Bang Bang Gang, they defeated the Dark Order. The biggest thing that happened here was Mariah May. She came out and she ran down Sky Blue. And she said that Sky Blue is just like the city of Chicago. She's broke and she needs to lower her standards to make things enjoyable. That was actually a nice one-liner. Mariah May then attacked Sky Blue before Queen Aminata came out to save Sky Blue from any further attacks. Now, Mariah May, when it comes to Mariah May, she's taken to this role where she is just being the bitchy hot girl, so to speak, that she's like the prom queen. It's like we're in high school, she's the prom queen, she's the most popular girl in the school. She knows that every single guy wants to bang her every single time that they look at her, and she knows that she's got everyone wrapped around her little finger. She's playing her role very, very nicely. But we need to get her in the ring with some bigger stars. The match with Nyla Rose, solid enough of a match. Solid enough of a match, but we need to get her in there with some more high-end athletes. Now, Queen Aminata, she's a very good pro wrestler, and I expect a great match with Queen Aminata. But afterwards, let's get her in there with the likes of maybe a Shida, maybe a Thunder Rosa, maybe a Serena Deeb, and see what we can come up with there. The main event of the 0 hour, it was Top Flight and Action Andretti versus Shane Taylor Promotions and the Beast Mortos versus the Undisputed Kingdom. This was actually a fun little trios triple threat match for what it was, and the Undisputed Kingdom ended up getting the win there. I'm not really sure where they go, but listen, if we're getting matches like this, and we're getting fun competitive matches like that, and there's nothing on the line, how exactly are you going to expect people to care? It's very, 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 very difficult since there is no rankings and everything just comes off as a mumble-jumbled mess, especially on the 0 hour. We need to make the 0 hour mean something. And yes, Mundo, Beast Mortos is great. Beast Mortos is actually the standout of that match. The Beast Mortos is actually the most over guy in that match. And I do not blame Chicago for getting behind the Beast Mortos. Mortos is fantastic. But the Undisputed Kingdom, they get the win. Fun match, but it was ultimately meaningless. So after the pre-show ended, now we get into the meat and potatoes. Now we get into the main course, the main show. The main show was mapped out perfectly. The main show had every match in the right place. Every match, for the most part, had the right outcome. Everything just flowed beautifully. And the show flew by. It didn't even feel 4 hours. I was looking at the clock. It was already 11, and I'm like, holy shit, we're already on the Jack Perry, Bryan Danielson match. Show flew by. So the show kicked off with MJF, Maxwell, Jacob Friedman versus Daniel Garcia. And this was easily the perfect match to kick off the show. Very, 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 very well done. And both men, they worked very, very, very well together. And I would even go so far as to say that this was probably Daniel Garcia's best match of his entire career. Hands down, it was his best match since the match with Bryan Danielson several years ago. And Garcia is slowly starting to increase his stock. And I certainly hope that we see more from Daniel Garcia and MJF going forward. So they replayed MJF's attack on Daniel Garcia the last time that they were in Chicago in the Wintrust Arena, which was very well done there. We had a nice little package where Garcia attacked MJF right out of the gate. And then we had MJF attacking the bandaged head of Garcia. MJF with a neck breaker and an arm wringer into the buckle. MJF remained in control. We had a DDT for a 2, suplex onto the floor. MJF just beat the count. We had Garcia beating the count as well. We had a big lariat by Garcia. 3 swinging neck breakers. Garcia went for a Hurricane Rana, but MJF countered with a powerbomb onto his knee for a 2 count. Garcia had his forehead bit by MJF. Garcia was bleeding. We had a DDT off the top rope by Garcia. Garcia, he raked at the face of MJF. Garcia then was trying to keep the momentum on his side. Garcia with rapid-fire forearms. Big punch by MJF, and both men are down. We had a German suplex. Garcia popped right back up. German suplex by Garcia. MJF popped up, and Garcia delivered a huge lariat. Both men were down. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." MJF with a Boston Crab. MJF then transitioned into the crossface. Salt of the Earth into a crossface on Garcia. Garcia got out and locked in the sharpshooter, a.k.a. the Dragon Tamer, and it was in deep. He then wrenched back, but MJF reversed it into a modified double Umaplata, the double Salt of the Earth. MJF wrenched back on the arm and then hooked Garcia's leg, so Garcia was tied up like a pretzel. Garcia just got his foot on the rope. MJF rolled out of the ring. All of a sudden, Garcia then delivered a big slap right to the chest, went for the front chancery. The arm dropped, so MJF passed out off the front chancery, but Garcia said, no. I'm going to end this with a pile driver. Garcia delivers a pile driver. 1, 2, MJF kicks out. Great near fall. Excellent near fall by MJF. Garcia then was eyeing the turnbuckle. So he was going to pile driver MJF off of the middle rope. Garcia was then shoved down. The ref shoved Garcia back because he was trying to, give MJF a little bit of breathing room. MJF took advantage of this, delivered a low blow behind the referee's back. MJF rolled up Garcia for the 1, 2, 3, and MJF wins a great opening match, a very physical opening match, as MJF, he bounces back from his loss at AEW All In. Excellent. Very well done. Now, I originally had Garcia winning this. However, MJF winning this isn't a bad thing. This really wasn't a bad thing whatsoever. Because, realistically speaking, if we're going to look at the feud, Garcia, he needs to be the one that's chasing MJF. If Garcia won here, then MJF would ultimately be the one chasing Garcia. Now, I thought Garcia was going to get the win here. MJF would get the win at Grand Slam, and then the final match would take place at WrestleDream. But after what happened here, it seems as though this whole entire program is far from over. Because now we're in a scenario where Garcia, he got a little bit of a measure of revenge on MJF, right? But MJF ultimately ended up winning the match. So now, Garcia is still chasing a victory. And MJF now, he's chasing vengeance after Garcia absolutely spiked him. Because after the match, MJF, he went for a handshake on Garcia. And Garcia ended up catching his foot when MJF went to kick Garcia. Garcia then delivered a low blow to MJF, and then a pile driver off of the middle rope. Garcia kissed MJF's forehead and left through the crowd. So this feud clearly isn't over. I had Garcia winning, but I'm not upset that MJF won for obvious reasons, because the feud is going to continue, number one. And number two, you're not going to have MJF lose 2 back-to-back pay-per-view matches like that. It's not going to happen. So I have no problem with Garcia taking the win here, and I have absolutely zero problem with the ending. The ending was very, very good, and it's clear as day the feud is going to continue. Now, according to Dave Meltzer, MJF's going to take some time off. I don't know how long he's going to take off, and to be quite honest, it seems rather odd that he would be taking time off, because it feels like he just came back. It literally feels like MJF just came back from his shoulder injury, and now he's automatically taking some time off. What's happening? Is he taking some time off to handle some personal business? Is Alicia Atout and MJF going on some sort of honeymoon? Are they getting married? What's going on? Are we potentially seeing Daniel Garcia in the late stages of his contract? Is he going to resign? As far as I know, Daniel Garcia hasn't re-signed a new contract yet. I mean, after that match, I don't understand why he wouldn't re-sign a new contract, especially with this feud with MJF. This feud with MJF is the biggest thing that Daniel Garcia has ever been involved in. So I don't know what's going on. Logically, the feud should continue. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but it was a great opening match. Very, very, very good opening match. And MJF gets the win. More likely than not, the feud will continue, but I don't know. It seems like AEW, they may be going into new contract negotiations with Garcia. Maybe Garcia does end up going to WWE. Maybe MJF just needs some time off. Maybe they pick this up at WrestleDream. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but easily the best match of Garcia's run in AEW since the match with Bryan, maybe the best match of his career, and the best possible match to kick off the show. Very, very, very well-paced match. Young Bucks versus Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, AEW World Tag Team Championship. This was actually a very good match, and this was also the best place for this match, right at the beginning of the show. There's no need to put this match on later in the show or in the middle of the show. They would not have gotten as good of a crowd reaction as they got. The crowd was very into Claudio and Yuta. You know what pissed me off the most about this match? The fact that we get this match, and all this match did was prove to me and to everyone that if Tony Khan just puts a little effort into what he's doing with the tag team division, we could get a tag team renaissance in AEW. They got the talent. They got the nucleus of tag teams, but they're not doing anything with them. And that is extremely, extremely frustrating. It's very, 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 very tough to know that AEW has the capability of developing a great tag team division, and instead, they have completely discarded it. I talked to Hooligrim yesterday before All Out, and I was talking about how the first trimester of the year, between January and April, the tag team division was going through a rejuvenation process. And then after Dynasty this year, after April, everything about the tag team division was just completely discarded. It was completely discarded. Nothing, absolutely nothing came off important, and everything just fell apart. The tag team titles weren't even defended on TV for 4 months. 4 months without a title defense for the Young Bucks after they won the actual championships. I'm sorry, but that is completely and utterly inexcusable. Absolutely no need for that shit. Absolutely no need for that shit. Why? Why do we have the Young Bucks going 4 months without defending the championships? I don't give a shit if they're chicken shit heels. Championships need to be defended regularly. It's like, hey, Tony Khan realized that the Young Bucks are the champions. Now they're defending them consistently. Same thing with Okada. Very good match. Very good match. I didn't see Claudio and Wheeler Yuta winning. I have the grizzled young veterans as the team to take the titles off the Young Bucks, but I wouldn't have minded if they won. But I didn't expect them to win. They didn't win. This match went 15 minutes, and it was a very good tag team match for what it was. Probably the most forgettable match of the night, but it was a very good tag team match for what it was. So we had a double escalera takedown by Nicholas Jackson. We had a wishbone by Claudio and Yuta. Nice double team moves by the Bucks on Yuta. Yuta was isolated. Yuta fought back and tagged in Claudio. Claudio with big uppercuts back and forth to Nicholas and Matthew. We had a tag to Yuta. Yuta, he threw Nicholas onto Matthew and then delivered an Olympic slam and a seatbelt pin on Matthew for a 2 count. We had a super kick by Yuta, super kick by Nicholas, German suplex, Matthew kicked out, cattle mutilation, Nicholas saved it with a swanton bomb. We had a Hurricane Rana off the apron by Nicholas to Claudio, very nicely done. Moonsault on Claudio, facebuster on Yuta. We had more bang for your buck countered, and we had a springboard uppercut by Claudio. The Young Bucks with an EVP trigger, but Yuta saved the match. Double super kick, EVP trigger attempt on Claudio, but Claudio stopped it. Claudio delivered a double superplex. Tope suicida by Yuta. Claudio with the big swing. Round and round and round and round and round we go. 20 revolutions. And Matthew ends up kicking out at 2. We thought that Claudio was going to win right there. But in the end, Matthew was able to kick out. Tag to Yuta. Super kick by Nicholas. Super kick by Matthew. Matthew went up. Claudio with an uppercut. Superplex by Claudio. They went for the rocket launcher, but Matthew got the knees up. Nicholas held Claudio back as Matthew cradled Yuta for the 1-2-3, and the Bucks just escape All Out with the tag team titles in hand. Very good tag team match. Very good tag team match. This was easily the Bucks' best match during their 3rd title reign, and this was easily better than their match at All In. The match at All In, it just lacked a certain energy. And there really wasn't much to go into this match with Claudio and Yuta, but in the end, we ended up getting a very good match and a match that was better than their match at All In. So I guess that could be looked at as a major, major positive. That could be looked at as a major positive. Young Bucks, they're defending the titles consistently. We need to get more defenses by the Bucks consistently. I'm assuming we're going to get the grizzled young veterans fighting the Young Bucks sooner rather than later. To be quite honest with you, the sooner that the grizzled young veterans are the tag team champions, the better, because the grizzled young veterans are fucking phenomenal at what they do. They are fucking phenomenal. Moving on here, Will Ospreay versus Pac, AEW International Championship. Pac, he won the right to challenge for the International Championship back in the Calgary show, and that was in a fatal 4-way match. Pac ended up winning, and Will Ospreay, he had to defend against Pac last night in Chicago for the International Championship. Now, I'm thinking to myself, holy fuck. They're putting this match on now? They're putting this match on 3rd? I mean, holy shit. You may as well fucking cancel the show. You may as well just skip to the main event in the steel cage match. I swear to God, I did not have this match going on 3rd, and I swear to God, I thought that these two were going to just absolutely take the breath out of everyone in that arena. I did not think that Chicago was going to be able to keep the energy as high as they did for the rest of the night after this match. But either way, I was going to sit back and I was going to enjoy the fuck out of it. And we got ourselves one hell of a match between Will Ospreay and Pac. For Will Ospreay and Pac, we got ourselves another match of the year candidate. For Will Ospreay, it's just another Saturday night. So the crowd was standing and chanting as soon as the bell rang. Pac, out of nowhere with a sky twister press to the floor, looked absolutely beautiful. Will Ospreay countered with a sky twister press of his own. Ricochet was shown in the back watching. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Pac sent Ospreay into the barricade. Big avalanche brainbuster. Ospreay with a forearm off of the barricade. Handspring moonsault plancha by Ospreay. Neuralizer by Ospreay for a 2 count. We had a moonsault into a tornado DDT by Pac. Sit out powerbomb for a 2 count. Pac was caught with a Spanish fly by Ospreay for a 2. Pac with a PK right to the neck. Ospreay with the Oz cutter, but Ospreay hurt his neck. The crowd was chanting, "Fight forever." We had a super kick by Ospreay. German suplex on the apron. Ospreay rolled on his neck. Crowd was chanting, "Holy shit." You thought that was brutal. You thought a fucking German suplex was brutal. Wait till you see what Pac did next. Pac, like a fucking maniac, picks Ospreay up and delivers a Poison Rana on the top of Ospreay's head. Poison Rana on the head, on the apron, and then he shoves Ospreay back into the ring and locks in the brutalizer. Will refused to give up. Will ended up getting to the ropes. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Black Arrow connects. Knees were up. Will Ospreay rolled up Pac for a 2 count. Backflip enziguri. Snap German suplex. Pac. Hurricane Rana pin. 1, 2. Ospreay kicked out again. Poison Rana again. Ospreay kicked out again. Brutalizer locked in again. Ospreay fired up and he got out of it. Ospreay with a Poison Rana himself. Hidden Blade out of nowhere. 1, 2. Pac kicked out. We had a Fight Forever chant again. Fight Forever chant again. Pac went for an avalanche Poison Rana, and Will Ospreay landed on his feet absolutely flawlessly. Hidden Blade, Pac kicked out again. We had a top rope Oz cutter. Stormbreaker was countered. Pac rolled through. Ospreay followed. Ospreay delivered a Styles Clash. One more Hidden Blade. 1, 2, 3. And Will Ospreay defeats the bastard Pac. 1, 2, 3. I mean, at this rate, everyone's top 10 matches of 2024 lists, half of those lists are going to consist of Will Ospreay matches. It's unbelievable. I got no words. Will Ospreay, I swear to God, the man is not human. The man is legitimately not human. By the end of the year, when it's all said and done, half of everyone's top 10 matches of 2024 lists are going to consist of Will Ospreay matches. Pac and Will Ospreay, fantastic fucking match at All Out. For Will Ospreay, it's just another Saturday. I, honest to God, don't know how the fuck Will Ospreay continues to do it. Now, I don't know what's next for him, but I'd like to hope, cross my fingers, since he was seen training with FTR, Adam Copeland, he is coming back. So I would love if we see Adam Copeland and Will Ospreay. That would be a perfect, and I mean a perfect match for a WrestleDream or a Full Gear. Either way, Ospreay is going to deliver another match of the year candidate. The man is not human. He's a machine. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. Having a very fun time, as per usual, talking about All Out. And we are going to continue on with the rewind in just a little bit. I would like to shout out a couple more sponsorships. We got 20 people watching right now. Thank you very much to the 20 people who are in the chat across 4 different platforms. I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit about the Ruggla Shop. The Ruggla Shop. They are on Route 46 in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and they've been there for about 8 months. My main man, Kevin, over there is serving up some high-quality baked goods and smoothies over there. Here's a word from your boy telling you why you should go check out the Ruggla Shop.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'm coming here with one of the best-kept secrets in Bergen County, the Ruggla Shop. For the last 10 months, this place has been serving up some quality baked goods, including chocolate chip cookies, pecan sandies, and of course, homemade rugglas. And if you come on in right now, my main man Kevin over here, he will make you a quality smoothie that is not only healthy, but it is also delicious. Take my word for it, people. The Ruggla Shop, you are going to want to check this place out.
And you are indeed going to go when you go and taste some of those homemade rugglas. You are indeed going to want to check that place out. I am telling you, the Ruggla Shop is absolutely fucking phenomenal in every sense of the word. Thank you very much to my main man, Kevin, for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. And finally, I'd also like to shout out Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes. Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, they've been providing great interior landscapes for New Jersey and the Philadelphia area. Mr. George Macbeth has been oh so gracious with his sponsorship and his time when it comes to hyping up Battle in the Borough and, of course, supporting the DJ Storms brand. Here is a word from DJ Shizzle Dizzle as to why you should be going to Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes for all of your traditional horticulture needs.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to share a little bit of information with you. As many people know, plants are extremely critical to any interior design. Matter of fact, research indicates that good interior landscaping is not only desirable, but it is a must-do green initiative to keep customers both happy and healthy. Now, at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, they believe that plants, they do more than just occupy a corner of a lobby. That is why they offer a full line of interior landscapes for both corporate and residential settings, from office plantscaping, living walls, moss walls, and even plant and orchid arrangement. Macbeth Farm is your go-to resource for all of your professional horticulture needs. You guys can contact Macbeth at 201-387-7997, or you can see all of their creations online at macbethfarm.com. That is MacBethfarm.com. Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, a family-owned business providing distinctive interior plantscaping for businesses across New Jersey and the Philadelphia area.
One more time, thank you very much to George Macbeth and the entire team over at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. And we may as well start talking about Battle in the Borough right now, because Battle in the Borough, it is the first wrestling event in the Elmwood Park Rec Center in over 5.5 years. And we got ourselves one hell of a card. We got ourselves a big-time tag team match going down between two teams who are looking to solidify themselves as the #1 tag team up and down the East Coast. We got Vic Delicious and Hale Collins of the Now. They're getting set to take on Micah and Seth Cortez of the Audacity. And you are going to want to get your tickets now, because I'm telling you, you are not going to want to miss a single second of this huge mega tag team match. The Now, they are former 3-time and record-setting ISPW World Tag Team Champions. Meanwhile, the Audacity, they are former 2-time Outlaw Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. And if you guys didn't already know, it was actually back in October of 2023 where the Audacity ended up taking the Outlaw Wrestling Tag Team titles off of the Now, but that was only because Vic Delicious was injured and Hale Collins had to go at it alone. The Now have been foaming at the mouth to get their rematch, and now they get their rematch at Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th. You are going to want to get your tickets right now because it is going to be absolutely epic. Also, we had a couple first-time ever matchups going down at Battle in the Borough, like this one. Kenny Bangle, one half of the Silk City Kings. He will be competing in his first singles match this year, and he will be taking on the heavy metal hitman, Rick Recon. Rick Recon has been on a roll these past number of years. Kenny Bangle is looking for the biggest win of his career. What will happen when these two fight for the first time ever? You're just going to have to wait and see. Get your tickets right now. Tickets are $25 at the door. You can call 201-507-2577, or you can DM me, serious inquiries only. You can send me the money on Venmo or Cash App, and I will be sure to get it to you ASAP, and you will have your tickets very, very early. If you guys are into some quality women's action, I got the match for you. It is going to be Tiffany Avatar versus Tiffany Grady. It is going to be the battle of the Tiffs, if you will. Now, the Cotton Candy Princess Tiffany Avatar, she has been on a roll as of lately. Plenty of championship victories. And speaking of championships, I spoke to Ashley Stevie a couple weeks ago. She's the promoter and the CEO of Kaiju Pro Wrestling. And she has agreed to make Battle in the Borough a bigger show because Tiffany Avatar will be defending the Kaiju Pro Wrestling Phoenix Division Championship against Tiffany Grady. These two women are currently 1-1 right now. Who's going to win the rubber match? Well, you're just going to have to get your tickets in order to find out. And of course, we got ourselves a big match going down on September 28th. For those of you who are fans of Pro Wrestling Magic, the Pro Wrestling Magic World Champion Alex Ryman will be defending his championship against Bruno, a.k.a. El Oso Blanco, the big 7-foot-tall Meadowlands monster. Can he secure the world title? Well, I do have news. Whoever secures the world championship will go on to Battle in the Borough to defend it against their respective opponents. So if Ryman wins, he defends the world title against the other half of the Silk City Kings, Big Dog himself, Bulldog Pittman. These two are no strangers to one another, and they have a big rivalry going on right now. Whoever wins this is going to be one up in the rivalry. And if Ryman wins, Bulldog has a chance at becoming the Pro Wrestling Magic World Heavyweight Champion. But if Blanco wins, if the big 7-foot-tall El Oso Blanco wins, he will be taking that championship into Elmwood Park, New Jersey, to defend it against his very good friend of 2 years now, Mateo Marcelos. Mateo Marcelos is a Venezuelan playboy who is as confident as ever, and he looks to gain the biggest win of his career. He says he needs to win, and Blanco, he's looking to knock Mateo down several pegs. Who is going to win? We're just going to have to wait and find out, because these two matches, they are currently up in the air. Which match is going to be the world title match? We'll have to wait and see. If Blanco wins, Mateo may have the biggest opportunity of his career because he is a big Pro Wrestling Magic guy. Whoever wins will indeed go on to Battle in the Borough. Whether it's Ryman or Blanco, they defend the title against their respective opponent. But I'll tell you which match at this moment is currently set to be a championship match. It is Marcus Mathers, the 21-year-old prodigy from PA that has been making the rounds all around the world, especially with the Game Changer Wrestling Tour over in Japan. He will be taking on Dr. Sleep himself, Anthony Gangone. And it has been confirmed. I talked to Billy Fetsky. He is the promoter of Titan Championship Wrestling. And Mr. Fetsky has agreed that if Gangone can remain the TCW MoBFI TV American Champion, then he will take his championship into Battle in the Borough to defend it against the 21-year-old prodigy himself, Marcus Mathers. Can Marcus Mathers make history, or will Gangone continue on his road of destruction throughout 2024. You're just going to have to wait and find out. And then finally, the main event match, the match that everyone is looking to see, a big-time, first-time ever match in the main event. It is going to be the NWA's technical powerhouse, Spencer Slade, accompanied by his manager, Mr. Savage, and he will be taking on the 30-plus year veteran, the timeless Crowbar. Can Crowbar outlast the technical powerhouse, or will Spencer Slade score the biggest win of his career? You better get your tickets right now. They're only $25. It is incredibly vital that you do so because they are going to go quick, especially since school is just starting up. How you doing, Mr. James Puntaseca? No worries. Don't worry. I'm glad that church just finished. Praise be to God. And I'm glad that you are here. And we are going to be talking about the rest of AEW All Out. Back to All Out. Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale in a Chicago street fight. Now, these two, I thought these two were going to be put in the death spot, but holy shit. These two may have delivered the best women's match all year. I kid you not. This was fucking great. This was fucking awesome. Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander, they went into this match and they beat the ever-living shit out of one another. And this is what I love about AEW's women's division. AEW's women's division, they do not care about breaking a nail. They don't care about all of the pageantries. They don't care about whatever soap opera drama that they want to develop on a weekly basis. They are professional wrestlers. And that's exactly what we got here. This was a fight. This was a fight, and this set the standard for a women's street fight. This was probably the best women's street fight that we've seen since Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Although I do have to shout out Diamante and Layla Hirsch because holy shit, that Texas Death Match was fucking brutal. And I mean fucking brutal. But this match between Willow and Statlander, excellent, excellent stuff. Easily the best women's match on the show. Probably the best women's match of the year. This may very well make the top 10. I am not bullshitting you. This may very well make the top 10. So Statlander came in with a chair, but Willow dodged the chair shot and delivered a pounce to Statlander immediately. Very nicely done. We had a chair shot right to the back, power bomb through the Spanish announce table. Statlander then got another table. Willow was sent into the barricade. Willow was laid out on the table. Statlander went for a swanton bomb. Willow just got out of the way, and Statlander put herself through the table. We had a pounce through the barricade by Willow. They then brawled onto the stage. We had a big slap by Willow. Statlander suplexed Willow on the stage. Stokely got a trash can with a bunch of weapons. We had a hockey stick, a barbed wire bat, trash can. We had a barbed wire bat in hand, but Willow took a light tube and smashed it right across Statlander's head. Statlander was busted open. We had a spear off the stage by Statlander to Willow through two tables. Great spot right there. Back in the ring, Willow hyped herself up. We had a double headbutt. Both women were down. The crowd was appreciating what these women were doing. Willow got a chair. Statlander got a bag, and it was full of thumbtacks. Of course it was. So we had a German suplex by Statlander. We had Statlander going for the axe kick, but Willow moved, and Statlander went thighs first into the tacks, which looked fucking brutal if I've ever seen one. We had a Death Valley driver onto the tacks. 1, 2, Statlander kicked out. Spanish fly off of the top by Statlander. Absolutely fucking brutal shit. And a beautiful Spanish fly at that. We then had a discus lariat with the chain. 1, 2, Willow kicked out. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome. This is awesome." We got a dog collar. So now it wasn't just about it being a Chicago street fight. This turned into a Russian chain match because the chains were wrapped around both women's wrists. So both women were now chained together. Willow, with a spine buster into the tax, Statlander was able to fire back. She reversed the doctor bomb, and Statlander delivered a tombstone pile driver and then locked in a crossface with the tax. The referee called for the bell, and Statlander wins the match. Statlander gets the victory over Willow. This was the right outcome here. I know a lot of people are going to be looking at this and saying, well, why didn't Willow win? Willow already beat Statlander the first time around. Statlander won the second match. And on top of that, Willow and Tomohiro Ishii, they already got the win at All In. They got the victory at All In. So why do we need to have a match where Willow wins it again? Willow doesn't need 2 back-to-back pay-per-view wins. Statlander, she has been on the receiving end of a decent amount of losses as of lately. Statlander was the right woman here. Statlander needed the win. Statlander needed a convincing win. And on top of that, Willow, she was protected in defeat. She didn't tap out. She wasn't pinned. She passed out. Statlander needed this win more. And I'm very, very happy that she got it. Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander, in addition to having Statlander go over, which was the right outcome, these two women, they set the standard of what a women's street fight should be. This made Nia Jax and Mia Yim look like complete and utter child's play. Now, we've seen some very good women's matches this year, but I don't think we've seen a women's match with that much intensity. That could very well have been their Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa moments right there. And if someone were to tell me that that was the best women's match of the year, I would not look at you weird. Matter of fact, that may very well be on my top 10 just because of what it did for Willow as Willow's stock continues to grow and Statlander finally getting a big victory and Statlander finally feels important ever since losing the TBS title last year. Great Chicago street fight. Moving on here, Kazuchika Okada. He took on Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Konosuke Takeshita. This was a fatal four-way match. Fatal four-way match for the AEW Continental Championship. Now, I understand what they were doing with Okada. I get it. I'm not an idiot. I know full well what they're doing with Okada. I know their intentions. I know exactly why they are laying everything out with Okada the way they are laying things out. Okada is being booked strong. Okada's been unpinned. He's been unsubmitted. Hell, at this rate, we could very well see Okada hold that championship going into next year. And it's a great thing to see. It's a great thing to see Okada succeeding in AEW. And I'm very, very happy about that. I'm glad that Tony Khan is actually having him defend the championship. That's what he should be doing. He should be defending the championship. But holy shit. I would be lying to you if I told you that I wasn't pulling for Takeshita here. Takeshita has been far too good for far too long with absolutely nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing to show for it. Nothing. Okada has had absolutely nothing to show for the great in-ring action and the great in-ring matches that he's been able to put on over the course of the last 2 years with AEW. And it is downright frustrating. It really is. It is downright frustrating to see a guy like Okada, and we already know how good Okada is, but then we see Konosuke Takeshita, who is virtually in the same position that Okada was in when he was younger, how much skill Konosuke Takeshita has, and yet they are doing nothing with him. That is fucking frustrating. It is very frustrating, and it is Very, very, very tough to watch. I would have absolutely given the win here to Takeshita. No questions about it. Would have absolutely given that win to Takeshita. But if there's one thing that this match did prove, it's the fact that we need, and I mean this, we need to continue moving forward with Takeshita, and we need to have Takeshita as the one to beat Okada whenever the time may be. Whether it's at WrestleDream, whether it's in the Continental Classic, whether it's next year, Takeshita should absolutely be the guy to take down Okada. No excuses. Konosuke Takeshita is the guy to beat Okada. Now, this was another very good match. Everyone got their shit in. Everyone got their shine. And the crowd was still as hyped up as they've been all night. So Takeshita and Okada, they had a face-to-face. This ultimately was interrupted by Orange Cassidy, who took out Okada and Takeshita with a double Hurricane Rana. Mark Briscoe lit up Takeshita. Briscoe and Cassidy with double elbow drops off of the apron on Takeshita and Okada. The crowd was chanting, "Fuck Don Callis." That is expected when you have Don Callis on commentary. So everyone was hitting vertical suplexes on everyone. Briscoe was caught with a back elbow. We had a Tope Con Hero by Takeshita on Cassidy and Okada. Briscoe with a Tope Con Hero on Takeshita. Briscoe and Orange Cassidy then mixed it up. They delivered those light chops to one another. They traded forearms back and forth. We had a double German suplex combo by Takeshita and Okada. Takeshita and Okada finally mixed it up. We had a drop kick by Okada. Takeshita came back with a beautiful Blue Thunder Bomb, and I don't give a fuck who is going to argue with me on this. Konosuke Takeshita's Blue Thunder Bomb is better than Sami Zayn's. Go argue with a wall. Takeshita, he was in control here. He delivered a big boot on Okada. In came Mark Briscoe with the froggy bow. Okada was able to save it. Okada with a diving elbow. Lariat by Briscoe. Boot by Takeshita. Orange punch by Cassidy. Takeshita with a cradle tombstone and a deadlift German. And you could tell that the crowd was behind Takeshita. Jay Driller out of nowhere by Mark Briscoe on Konosuke Takeshita. Okada saves the match. Briscoe took him out. Knees were up on the froggy bow. V-trigger by Takeshita. I thought Takeshita won the title right then and there. Cassidy saved it. Beach break by Cassidy. Big forearm. Big lariat. Okada comes in. He drop kicks Okada. Rainmaker on Mark Briscoe. One last Rainmaker on Orange Cassidy. 1, 2, 3. Okada gets the victory. Okada wins and retains the AEW Continental Championship in another very, very, very good match. But if anything was proven, it's the fact that Takeshita should be the guy to beat Okada when the time is right. The Fatal 4-Way for the Continental Championship at All Out, very good match, as per usual. And I understand what they're doing with Okada, but oh my lord, that place would have came unglued if Takeshita won. If Takeshita got the victory there, that place would have exploded. They were rooting for Takeshita. They wanted to see Takeshita and Okada. You could have just done a one-on-one match between Takeshita and Okada. But if the match proved anything, Okada should be the guy to beat, or Okada should be the individual to put over Takeshita, and Takeshita should beat Okada for the AEW Continental Crown Championship. When? I don't know. I wouldn't waste time. I would do it at WrestleDream. But if you're asking me, maybe they do it in the Continental Classic. I don't know. But Okada, he needs to pass that championship to Takeshita. Moving on. Mercedes Moné, CEO. Got to do the CEO dance right there. Mercedes Moné, she defended the TBS championship against Hikaru Shida. And these women were actually put in the death spot. These women had a lot to live up to considering the first 5 matches, but in the end, the crowd was actually fairly hyped for this match. Fairly hyped for this match. And the back and forth between Shida and Moné was very good itself. Bit of an odd ending, though. We'll discuss the ending in a little bit, but for the most part, the match itself, from an overall perspective, the match was very good. The match was very good. This was better than their first match that they had a couple weeks ago, and it was indeed better than Mercedes Moné's all-in match against Britt Baker. Moné, I don't think Moné gets enough credit. She's not getting enough credit for the matches that she's putting on here in AEW. I'm not saying that these matches are above and beyond and, oh my God, they're match of the year candidates, but the woman is a very good wrestler. She may not be as good as she was because the ankle injury maybe slowed her down, but she still has the capability of putting on very good matches, and this was no different. Odd ending, but it was a very good match. So the crowd, with dueling chants of "Let's go Shida, CEO," we had a drop kick by Shida, a second one, a third one, and a fourth one. Shida with the stretch muffler. Moné got to the ropes. Moné was caught with a running knee by Shida. Moné with a sunset flip powerbomb into a Meteora. The crowd was booing as Moné took over. So it's clear as day that the crowd was behind Shida here. We had Moné slowing the pace down. Shida was caught with double knees to the gut. That got a 2 count. Shida with a Hurricane Rana. Very nicely done. Nice missile drop kick from the middle rope. 10 punches in the corner and a big punch right to the face. Moné with the crossface. Shida got to the ropes. Shida with a lariat. Both women were down. Shida with a punt knee. Shida went up. Moné shut her down with a code breaker and a sunset flip powerbomb into the corner. Running Meteora. 1, 2. Shida kicked out again. We had Moné hitting the 3 Amigos. Moné went for the frog splash, but Shida got the knees up. So Shida, she does her own version of the 3 Amigos, but instead of a vertical suplex, she delivers 1 Falcon Arrow, 2 Falcon Arrow, 3 Falcon Arrows, 1, 2, Moné kicked out. Katana stopped. Knee breaker and a dragon screw. Moné with a backstabber. Shida with a German suplex and a running knee. 1, 2, Mercedes kicked out again. Katana on Moné. Shida with another one. Moné kicked out at 1 and immediately rolled out to the ring. I don't know what the hell happened there. I'm not sure if they were off center. I'm not sure if they were supposed to be closer to the ropes and Moné was supposed to get her foot on the rope. I'm not sure if that played a part in it. I'm not sure if Moné just panicked. I'm not sure if they were supposed to be by the kendo stick, because ultimately the kendo stick played a part into it. And Shida, she was contemplating hitting Moné with the kendo stick, which I don't really understand why. That seems so out of place. It really seems so out of place. I was watching this, I'm like, why is Shida contemplating whether or not to hit Moné with the kendo stick when nothing was done to provoke Shida? Shida was not annoyed at all by Moné. Shida was not toyed with by Moné throughout the match. There was nothing that happened throughout the match that made anyone believe that Shida was contemplating hitting Moné with the kendo stick. It's almost like it was just there. It's almost as if that spot belonged in the Hangman and Swerve match. I really don't understand where this ending came from. Why did we even have the kendo stick brought into this? If you wanted to have maybe the turnbuckle is coming loose, and Aubrey goes to fix the turnbuckle, and then you could have Monet or Shida hit one another with the kendo stick. Sure, you could do something like that. You could easily do something like that. But why? I don't get it. Why did we need this spot with the kendo stick? It just seems so out of place. Other than that, I mean, Monet and Shida, that was a very good women's match. They were kind of put in a death spot, but they made do with it. Chicago was hyped up for it, and we ended up getting another very good women's match that was better than their first match and better than Mercedes' match with Baker at All In. But again, I don't understand what this ending was with the kendo stick. Very, very, very weird ending. But Monet, she was not losing that title. Monet is not going to be losing that title until next year. Why? Because next year, we got AEW Grand Slam. We got AEW Grand Slam in Suncorp Stadium. What do you think is going to happen in Suncorp Stadium? It's quite simple. The agenda is clear. Monet was not going to be losing the TBS Championship to Hikaru Shida. I know people love Shida. I'm a big fan of Shida. But at the end of the day, Monet is going to be holding that title into next year for one specific reason. We got AEW Grand Slam going down in Australia in Suncorp Stadium on Saturday, February 15th. The biggest match that they could do for the TBS Championship is Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné. They are building towards Toni Storm going after Mercedes Moné, and Toni Storm is going to be the one to make history. Toni Storm is going to do the same thing that she did with the AEW Women's World Championship, this time with the TBS title. It is Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné at AEW Grand Slam in Suncorp Stadium in February, and Toni Storm is going to be the first woman to hold both the women's title and the TBS Championship. Let's take our final break of the stream. How you doing, Raging Girl Gamer? Thank you very much for stopping on by. I greatly appreciate you. Always appreciate Rage because she is one of the top tier loyal fans here in the DJ Storms posse. She's been a member for 5 months, and she has done nothing but throw out the countless support. I know that she loves throwing out those custom emojis with the custom logos and the lightning bolt fist, and of course, JB Thunder. I need to get JB Thunder back on the channel at some point. Listen, we've been busy. We've been extremely busy as of lately, but we've been having a great time, and I genuinely hope to see Raging Girl Gamer at Battle in the Borough. Please hit me up for tickets. But I'd like to shout out my final 2 sponsorships of this stream. The first one being Vito's Pizza and Restaurant. They are indeed the best pizza in the town of Elmwood Park, New Jersey. And I would highly encourage each and every single one of you to go out of your way. If you're in Elmwood Park, get yourself something from Vito's Pizza. They also got homemade empanadas as well. And those empanadas are good. Here's a word from your boy, DJ Shizzle Dizzle, as to why you should go and check out Vito's Pizza and Restaurant.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I am here in front of Vito's Pizza and Restaurant here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Some of the best pizza in Bergen County. If you're hungry, hell, even if you're not, come and stop by Vito's Pizza. And of course, be sure to catch Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Tickets, $25 at the door. DM me or call 201-507-2577.
Thank you very much to Vito's Pizza and Restaurant for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and, of course, an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. And finally, I would like to shout out Safa and her team over at Toasted Bagels, Deli, and Cafe. They are pretty recent, and they got some high-quality deli and bagels material. And hell, if you're stopping for your morning coffee, and Dunkin' Donuts seems to be with lines all the way out to the streets, I'll tell you what, you can stop by Toasted because they got some high quality coffee as well. Here's a word from Safa and yours truly as to why you should go and check out Toasted right here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I am here with the owner of Toasted. Her name is Safa and also her team.
Hi, guys.
Safa, how are you today?
I'm good.
Let me ask you, how long have you been living in Elmwood Park right now?
I was born and raised in Elmwood Park, so basically 20 years.
That's amazing. And tell us a little bit about Toasted.
So we are a woman-owned business. We're also Middle Eastern-owned. We come from a Middle Eastern background. We also have our smoke shop right next door, Moonstar Smoke Shop. We just saw this opportunity and we wanted to fill the gap. So we have a lot of experience in the food industry, and we thought it would be an amazing opportunity to open something for the whole family. So we're very excited to bring this to the Elmwood Park community, and thank you guys so much for all your support.
And the Elmwood Park community thanks you. Ladies and gentlemen, Safa and the team of Toasted. I'm the one and only DJ Storms. Be sure to get your tickets right now for Battle in the Borough on October 19th, 2024.
Thank you very much to Safa and the entire team over at Toasted Bagels, Deli, and Cafe for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough. We recently just got 3 new subs from this stream alone, and that is absolutely fucking fantastic. Thank you to everyone who is currently subbed and all the new subs for coming on in. We greatly appreciate you here. If you haven't already done so, get in your super chats, get in your super stickers, get in your super thanks, become a member of the channel, and receive the same perks that Raging Girl Gamer currently has right now. I know that she's having a ball with those custom emojis right now. Anyway, let us get right down to business. The last 2 matches, the double main event of AEW All Out. Jack Perry, the scapegoat, versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship. Now, I complained about this match. I did complain when it was announced. I understand what they're doing. I understand why they're doing what they're doing. I understand that we have Chicago and the whole incident with CM Punk, and it's clear as day that Jack Perry got some good heat. He even gained some fans in Chicago. I get it. I understand that Bryan wants to work with the young guys. But what did this do for the TNT title? Jack Perry has been the TNT champion since June, the end of June, and he's done nothing with it. They haven't even attempted to build up any legit challengers for Jack Perry. Look at the roster that they have. Sammy Guevara, Kyle Fletcher, Tomohiro Ishii, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy. I mean, you got fucking Ricky Starks sitting at home doing yoga. They got Ricky Starks doing the fucking DDP yoga at home during this hiatus. Miro as well. You have all of these challengers, all of these people lined up, perfect challengers for Jack Perry, and you're not building up anyone to go and fight him for the TNT title. Jack Perry's main focus should be the TNT championship, and this company should be building up challengers for Jack Perry to fight, so that way his title reign would be meaningful. And they're not doing it. And then on top of that, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but AEW, like, I don't know what Tony Khan is doing, but it's almost like Tony Khan isn't even allowing Jack Perry to wrestle. It's almost as if he's not allowing Jack Perry to do what Jack Perry does. Because prior to the incident with CM Punk, Jack Perry was putting on bangers left, right, and center. Jack Perry was putting on phenomenal fucking matches. Holy shit. The match with Luchasaurus inside a steel cage, the match with Christian Cage, the final burial match, and the matches with Sammy Guevara, the matches with the Fatal 4-Way with Guevara, Darby, and MJF, the match with Sonata, the matches with Hook. It's like as soon as Jack Perry came back, like they haven't been allowing him to go out there and wrestle. The best that Jack Perry looked was back at Double or Nothing in the Anarchy in the Arena match. I don't understand why Jack Perry has been just the lazy fuck of the elite, so to speak. And I hate using that term, but why isn't Jack Perry wrestling more? Because I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but Jack Perry is a great wrestler. And they're not putting him in the ring with people that are going to have great matches with them. Instead, they're just making him a chicken shit heel. And then when we get a match, it ends up finishing up way too quickly. That coffin match with Darby Allin at All In, I mean, come on, man. Come on. That coffin match at All In, that should have been a banger of a, that should have been a potential match of the year candidate, and it ended in 10 minutes. Jack Perry has not been lighting the world on fire from an in-ring perspective. The character's fine. I mean, he's playing the sniveling little prick very, very well. The sniveling little prick that is Jack Perry, he's playing it very well. But from an in-ring perspective, he's done nothing since he's returned. Jack Perry needed this from an in-ring perspective. Jack Perry needed to have a great match, and that's exactly what we got. This was perhaps Jack Perry's best match that we've seen since his match with Kenny Omega back in June of 2021. This was a great, great championship match. Crowd was into it. Crowd was loud. They were actually doing dueling chants. Right? They were doing the yes chants, and they were singing, "Oh, cry me a river." So Jack Perry, he actually gained himself a nice little following in Chicago. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So Bryan came out to the final countdown, which was awesome. Crowd popped big. Bryan had an early advantage. We had a surfboard stretch, springboard cannonball to the floor, missile drop kick by Bryan. Perry super kicked Bryan right in the gut, and then DDT'd him on the floor. Perry then relished in his handiwork. Crowd was chanting, "Fuck you, Jack." We had a drop kick against the barricade. Perry was in control. Bryan came back with an avalanche back superplex, label lock into a modified omoplata. Perry got his foot on the rope. Perry locked in the cattle mutilation. Bryan fired back. Dragon suplex by Perry and a second one. They started fighting on the apron, and Bryan Danielson delivered a butterfly suplex off the apron to Perry, and he landed with a splat. The crowd started chanting, "You deserve it." Then we had a diving knee to the arm. Bryan with the yes kicks. Bryan mounted himself, but Perry caught him in the snare trap. Bryan got to the ropes. Jack Perry with a comebacker lariat. Roundhouse kick by Bryan. Bryan accidentally took out Bryce Remsburg. Bryan with a regalplex. Bryan was then taken down by Nicholas and Matthew Jackson. We had a Tony Khan driver. Yuta and Claudio came in to run off the Young Bucks. Perry with the running knee, the running scapegoat knee. And the ref came to. We had 1, 2, Bryan kicked out. Perry then kicked Bryan's head in. Perry then with the yes chants. And Perry got a little too overconfident. Bryan with the Busaiku knee. And Perry sold the shit out of it. Perry almost was launched into fucking orbit. It was almost like a pounce. So Bryan with a very nice Busaiku knee. Very good Busaiku knee. Bryan started to hype himself up. Bryan then with the stiff kicks. We had a rolling elbow, a Busaiku knee again. Perry kicked out at 2. Great, great near fall. Crowd started chanting AEW, AEW. Bryan then said it's time to kick his fucking head in. By the way, I love when the crowd does that shit. I love when Bryan does that, and you just hear the crowd say, it's time to kick his fucking head in. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but whenever Bryan does that, it just brings a smile to my face. I fucking love that catchphrase. So Bryan began to kick he began to kick Perry's head in over and over again. All of a sudden, Jack Perry on his knees, Jack Perry smiling, all defiant, puts his arms up. He puts his arms up, ready to take the brunt of the punishment. Bryan with one more Busaiku knee. 1, 2, 3. Bryan retains in a great match against Jack Perry. Easily Jack Perry's best match since his return, and Jack Perry's best match since the fight with Kenny Omega back in June of 2021. Afterwards, all of a sudden, Killswitch comes up from behind and attacks Bryan. Killswitch and Jack Perry, they stare each other down, and we have a little Jurassic Express reunion. Very nicely done right there. All of a sudden, Christian Cage comes out, and then Moxley, out of nowhere, stops him. Bryan smiled. Moxley stopped Christian. In comes Claudio, Yuta, and Pac. Christian and the Patriarchy then backed off. So there is no cash-in with Christian's contract now. No cash-in. So Moxley hugged Bryan Danielson. And this was great right here. So Moxley hugged Bryan Danielson. And Moxley and Claudio and Yuta, they all raised each other's hands. All of a sudden, Claudio just rocked Bryan with an uppercut. Bryan is looking up at Claudio like, what the fuck? Bryan is shocked. All of a sudden, Moxley pulls out a plastic bag, puts it over Bryan's head, and just proceeds to strangle and suffocate him with the plastic bag. All the while, Pac is holding Wheeler Yuta back. As Wheeler Yuta, it's almost like a kid who's being bullied at high school, and the people are holding him back as one of his friends, his only friend, is being destroyed by another bully. And he's just being held back, and Yuta's in tears, and he's trying to reach for Bryan. He's trying to reach for him, and Bryan ends up getting suffocated by Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley leaves with Claudio, Pac, and Marina Shafir, as it seems as though we got ourselves a new Blackpool Combat Club, and Moxley is issuing a hostile takeover. It seems as though he's recruited Claudio and Pac. They're probably going to be the tag team. Marina Shafir, I guess you could say she's the China figure of the faction. Listen, as long as she's not wrestling, this is probably a great role for her. Jon Moxley, now he's the leader, and now he's recruiting people to his faction. He's issuing a hostile takeover of AEW. Or is this really Moxley? Is this really Moxley's plan? I don't know. Listen, I have a theory. I'm going to put it out there for everyone. Everyone has been talking about Solo Sikoa and his bloodline. There's a lot of people that are saying that Solo Sikoa is not the mastermind behind his hostile takeover and him forming a new bloodline. People are saying it's The Rock, and that's going to lead to Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. I don't think what we saw at All Out, I do not believe that it was Moxley's orchestration. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen at Grand Slam. I don't know if it's going to happen at WrestleDream. But something tells me that Shane McMahon, he is the mastermind behind the attacks at All Out, and he is going to be looked upon as the mastermind for Jon Moxley's new Blackpool Combat Club, or whatever they're called. Shane McMahon is behind all of this. So afterwards, they had to bring out an oxygen tank. They had to bring out an oxygen tank for Bryan Danielson as he was completely and utterly suffocated at the hands of Jon Moxley. I don't know what this means. I'm not sure where they're going. I don't know if Christian Cage is going to succeed. Maybe Luchasaurus is the guy to fuck over Christian Cage. Maybe Luchasaurus inadvertently costs Christian Cage the championship. Maybe he is the cause of Christian Cage not winning the world title. Who knows? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and find out there. But no cash in by Christian, but Jon Moxley, at least from what it seems, Jon Moxley has formed a new BCC. But in the end, there could very well be someone who is pulling the strings from up above. The main event. The main event. Hangman Adam Page. How you doing, D. Cena? Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. The first ever lights out steel cage match. First ever lights out steel cage match. And Swerve isn't even the world champion anymore. But yet here he is, still main eventing pay-per-views. Now, this feud, obviously we know, has been, beyond the shadow of a doubt, an absolute barn burner of a feud. And this is actually the 1-year anniversary of this feud. Feud has been awesome. But now it looks like we are in a scenario where we are going to see Swerve Strickland potentially take some time off. I don't know if that's going to be a certainty because you got WrestleDream in Swerve's hometown of Tacoma. Unless maybe they tell the story of Hangman taking on Bryan Danielson, and maybe Hangman wins the world title in Swerve's hometown of Tacoma. And maybe Hangman just rubs it in everyone's face. I don't know. Maybe they do that. I certainly wouldn't mind it. That sounds like a pretty damn good way to go about things, and it would certainly make Hangman look like a complete and utter fucking douchebag. That I can get behind. That I can absolutely get behind. So we get this match, and we had security guards. Security guards were orchestrating Hangman and Swerve to the ring. So right out of the gate, they went right after each other. Nana was throwing weapons into the ring, and the match was underway. Right out of the gate, we had a house call by Swerve. Swerve then got stapled by a staple gun, and he just laughs at Hangman, a throwback to the Texas Death Match. He laughs at Hangman. Swerve then just casually pulls the staples out. Swerve takes out pictures of his family, and in a throwback from the Texas Death Match, remember, during the Texas Death Match, it was Page who stapled pictures of his family. He stapled pictures of his son's drawings to Swerve's face. This time, it's Swerve that staples pictures of his family to Hangman's face. So now the roles are reversed. So Swerve casually pulled the staples out. Page was bleeding. Both men were on the top rope next to the cage. Swerve got crotched on the top. Swerve bounced off the cage. Swerve then with barbed wire wrapped around his arm. We had a barbed wire lariat. Page put barbed wire in the chain and bounced Swerve right off of it. Swerve was busted open. Page was in firm control. Page then used a chair on Swerve. We had a house call by Swerve. Buckshot lariat off the referee's back. Swerve hit Page with a chair, and then he lawn darted Adam Page into the chair, and I swear to God, it looked like Adam Page's soul left his body. Absolutely fucking brilliant sell. So Page kicked out. Swerve then brought out the cinder block, the synonymous cinder block. Swerve then delivered a vertebraker to Hangman on the cinder block. And by the way, that was no chalk cinder block like we saw during the Texas Death Match. This was real legit cinder block. Hangman's back was fucked up. Huge scrape across the back. So Paige was up top with Swerve. Swerve then delivered a swerve stomp off the top through the table. 1, 2, Hangman kicked out. Hangman then delivered the Deadeye. Swerve kicked out. Paige then brought out a piece of barbed wire, or so we thought it was barbed wire. Instead, it was a piece of burnt wood. Paige took a piece of burnt wood from Swerve's old house. And Swerve, he was about to get stabbed, but Swerve stopped it. Swerve then took the piece of wood from his old house and stabbed Hangman repeatedly in the head with it. Absolutely fucking brutal. So then the crowd was chanting, "You sick fuck." Swerve was crying when he was looking at it. This gave Paige enough time to hit a low blow, and then he powerbombed Swerve onto the cinder block, which looked nasty. 1, 2, Swerve kicked out. Crowd chanted, "This is awesome." Paige with 10 punches against the cage. Swerve then got powerbombed, or he powerbombed Paige against the cage. Paige's back scraped against the steel grate. And then, this was a brutal spot right here. Adam Page, right? Adam Page was against the cage, and Swerve delivered a house call to Paige against the steel cage, and Paige's head ricocheted off the cage like a fucking bobblehead. Absolutely fucking nasty. So Paige then delivered a Deadeye after he powerbombed Swerve off the top. Swerve kicked out again. He then told Swerve to beg for his mercy, and this was a fucking great ending right here. You want to know what's so great about this ending? What is so great about this ending is that Paige may have gotten the win, but he didn't technically beat Swerve. See, if he would have pinned Swerve, or if Swerve would have tapped out, that would have made a lot more sense. But they didn't. They did not go with that. Instead, Adam Page, he told Swerve to beg for his mercy. He was hitting Swerve with the chair over and over, but Swerve wouldn't beg for his mercy. Swerve instead laughed. He got up and he laughed in Hangman's face before collapsing to the mat. Absolutely unbelievable. The defiance in Swerve made this whole ending. Page then said, "All right, I'm fucking done with this shit." He takes a hypodermic needle and stuffs it in Swerve's mouth, numbing Swerve's head. He numbs Swerve's head with the hypodermic needle, and then he takes a chair and just bashes Swerve Strickland in the face, and the chair, the top part of the chair, completely breaks off, so you know it was gimmicked. Swerve collapses, just completely dead to the world, and the referee had no choice but to call for the bell. Was it better than their Texas Death Match? I don't know about that. I'd probably say no. I'd probably say it was not better than their Texas Death Match. But they gave you just enough brutality. They gave you some creative spots. They gave you some things we've never seen before. And in the end, the right man won. After one long year of going back and forth, one long year, Hangman Adam Page finally beats Swerve Strickland. And Hangman Adam Page finally achieves some redemption with a great ending, with Swerve being defiant as ever, and Adam Page having to resort to a hypodermic needle and a chair shot to the head in order to take Swerve out. And I know there's already people bitching and moaning and complaining. GCW garbage wrestling this, all a bunch of bullshit. All these people who have been fucking pussified. People who've been pussified by the WWE. People saying, oh my God, why are they trying to be ECW light? Motherfucker, let me tell you something. They don't do this shit every week. If you could name me a consistent amount of time where people are taking exposed chair shots in AEW, I can only name you maybe 3 or 4 exposed headshots with a chair in AEW throughout its 5-year history. And all of those individuals were different people. Cody took one, Jack Perry took one, and now Swerve took one. It's never with the same person. People are trying to make all these fucking excuses. Oh, CTE this and Chris Benoit that. Such dumb shit by all these wrestlers. First of all, a lot of these old timers don't even give a shit about the health of these wrestlers. They're just looking to complain about AEW for the sake of complaining, number one. And number two, the chair was clearly gimmicked. It sounded worse than it really was. And one gimmicked chair shot to the head is not going to do anything. If we have one person taking consistent chair shots to the head over and over and over again, that's a different story. But how many chair shots to the head has Swerve taken since he's been with AEW? How many chair shots? None. This is the first one. This is the first legit chair shot to the head that Swerve has taken. Why the fuck are you complaining? The whole issue with Jack Perry at Blood and Guts. How many chair shots to the head did Jack Perry take? And no, a concerto doesn't count. I'm talking about him standing up and a chair going like that right to his head. Blood and Guts was the only time. Now, if this shit happens consistently, then I'm going to question the safety protocol. Then I am going to question what the fucking deal is. Then I am going to ask, well, why are they doing this consistently? Why are they relying on this and only this? But at the end of the day, it was just one time. It's only been one time for each participant. If Swerve starts taking chair shots every other fucking week to the head, then I will say something. But in the end of the day, in the end, the match needed to be this brutal. The match reached a fever pitch. Swerve had his house burnt down by Hangman. Hangman has lost his fucking mind going after Swerve. The match needed to be brutal. And that's exactly what we got. Unless we're getting consistent chair shots to the head on a weekly basis, shut the fuck up, okay? For all of you trying to claim that, oh my God, this is so detrimental to the health of all these wrestlers, you do not give a fuck about the health of the wrestlers. Please do not try and make it seem like you do. You don't care about these wrestlers' health. You're just looking to shit on AEW for the sake of it. You didn't like it, fine. But at the end of the day, the match was exactly what it needed to be. And if you don't like it, well then guess what? That is your problem. Because the match was objectively brutal. It was objectively very well paced. And the right man won. Sorry if you don't like the facts, but I've never been one to be mad that people are angry with me, because I would rather be hated for telling the truth, and I am, than to be liked for spewing lies. And one other thing I'll mention. Another great aspect of this match was Hangman saw Swerve twitch a little bit. And Swerve, he's completely out cold. He twitches a little bit. Hangman starts walking back, and he's got this look on his face where he's conflicted with himself. He's like, yeah, he deserved it for breaking into my home, but holy fuck, what did I just do? And when Hangman did that, when he walked back but then decided against it, it almost reminded me of The Dark Knight. It reminded me of The Dark Knight from 2008, which, by the way, that was the best Batman movie series, period. Christian Bale and Heath Ledger in that movie, Batman and the Joker. Christian Bale's Batman said, "You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain." That's exactly the vibe that I was getting. Now, Hangman Page, he sees what he just did in a blind fit of rage because Swerve broke into his house. He sees what he did. And now he's coming to terms, or he's slowly becoming aware of the fact that he's not the hero anymore. He started off as the hero, but now he's swooped down. He's stooped down to Swerve's level. Matter of fact, this is lower than Swerve's level. He is lower than Swerve God. Swerve may have invaded his home, but after that, Swerve seemingly cleaned up his act, outside of the feud with Bryan Danielson, of course. But holy shit, man. Hangman Page is coming to terms with the fact that he is not the hero in this story anymore. And that right there is what makes this feud so great. What makes the feud so great is the fact that both individuals have done great things and they've done very horrible things. It's almost like you can't pick a side. Like there is no black and white. It's just a cluster of gray areas. And it really makes people think. And that right there, that is pretty damn fucking cool. What happens now, I don't know. But at this rate, Hangman Page, if he is not the next world champion and Swerve is going after Hangman, man, that is another missed opportunity. And if anything, hell, this match should have been for the world title. I don't give a fuck. This match should have been for the world title. Not as good as their Texas Death Match. Started off slow, but they picked it up towards the end. We got some crazy shit, some innovative spots. And in the end, Hangman Page finally exorcises the demon that is Swerve Strickland after one full year of going back and forth. Brutal match, right outcome, and one hell of a show. And once again, AEW is going to be on the table for perhaps top 4 best pay-per-views of the year, whether it be Revolution, Dynasty, All Out, or All In. Man, Tony Khan, he knows how to do pay-per-view. Tony Khan makes sure everyone gets their money's worth. And I really, really do hope that Tony Khan uses this as a blueprint for shows going forward. 8 matches. 8 matches, 7 matches if you want to do one less, but 7 to 8 matches, that is the sweet spot. That is the sweet spot. Put your main people on the show and do not, I repeat, do not oversaturate the show. All thriller, no filler. I'd like to hope that he'll probably deliver some sort of structured material on Wednesday because we need more structure during the weekly shows. The weekly shows are 50-50. Sometimes we get a weekly show that's very well structured. Sometimes we don't. I genuinely hope that we see more structured shows going forward. Great show to kick off AEW's fall season. And that wraps up this edition of The Rewind, clocking under 2 hours, just under 2 hours. Thank you very much for stopping on by. Thank you very much to Dee. Thank you very much to Mundo. Thank you very much to James Punaseca. Thank you very much to John Blaine. You guys are great. And thank you to the other 25 people in this chat right now. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Get your tickets right now for Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th. Please make sure that you hit your super chats and super stickers and super thanks. Share the stream out on all platforms, social media. Set your calendar dates for Thursday with another episode of the Savage Storm Wrestling Super Show. I am the one and only DJ Storms. This has been The Rewind for AEW All Out. But before we get out of here, people, as per usual, you need to tell me who runs the IWC. Matter of fact, don't answer that. I'm going to tell you who runs the IWC. It is who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever, ever forget it.
Retribution! want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.